Time to have some garage fun with the Grom. Project I'm working on is going to be putting a high pipe on this bike. I'm planning on running the 24 Hours of Appalachia small bore class with it this year. And I want to try to get all the ground clearance I can in case there's any sneaky little twigs or sticks or stones that jump out in front of this bike. The stock bike only has about 6.5 inches of ground clearance underneath the bike. To be putting on a CRF-110 high pipe on this little bad boy. Picked this pea shooter up off of eBay for pretty cheap. It's a stock takeoff of, I believe, a 24 CRF-110. Stock Grom header off. It is the pipe on top. Then we have our CRF-110 header at the bottom. Zero out these calipers real quick and show you. You can see the exhaust port diameters are identical on both of these, as well as the hole spacing on the exhaust flanges. So the CRF-110 header should bolt right in. The pipe does look skinny on this, but it is the same as the stock Grom, minus the catalytic converter, and it is a much smaller muffler. So that probably means my 9 horsepower motor will be bumped up to maybe a 9.1 horsepower motor. So maybe a little more freer flowing. I know it's not a fatty, but not too worried about it. Have the 110 header loosely installed on the bike. The stock one, it was like 6 to 6.5 inches from the ground. We're now around 9, so a little bit of a gain there. But the cool thing is all that space on the bottom. I do plan on making a plastic skid plate or something to protect the oil drain plug. There are 4 mounting bolt holes on the bottom, so that should be pretty easy to make a plate to protect that. Have everything loosely installed. Muffler's hanging on there. I used the rear frame bolt hole that is already there to hang the back hanger. That is an M8x125 for those who want to know. But I am going to have to do a little bit of bending. It doesn't exactly line up straight with the bends in the CRF-110 pipe, but I'm hoping a breaker bar inside the pipe, I'll be able to straighten that out. One thing I'm also hoping to do is to tuck this pipe inside so I could put a either the factory little triangle side cover or a homemade side cover back on. Another thing is the rear brake reservoir. That actually mounts to this bolt here, and that's probably going to get way too hot, boil the fluid, and lose the brakes. So I'm either going to shorten the hose up, mount it down low, or delete this altogether and put some sort of cute little reservoir on there. Going to try to get a few of these bends out of the pipe. So I have my custom tube bender, courtesy of a 2-inch receiver hitch. And I did put a little 9/16 socket in the end of the pipe to try to prevent that from pinching where it goes into the muffler. Felt it move a little bit, take it out and check it. A little bit too much of a kink, take a little bit more out. Test fit after a few bends on the receiver. I have a little bit of a gap left. I'd like to close that up. I really want to keep that muffler where it is. And what I think I'm going to do is just try to twist this front part of the header here back a tiny bit and see if that'll help close up that gap. Back to the tube bender for a few more bends. What I've been doing is just putting index marks. That way I know this needs to stay up straight to bend it down. So this, I'm probably gonna have to flip it over and pull it up towards me to try to get that last little bit of a bend. I don't know if that'll be enough. Give it a shot. After plenty of trips to the tube bender, finally got this thing to fit. Able to get that gap nice and tight. It was a little bit of a pain to bend this header back a little bit. Just such a short pipe. Trying to twist that a little bit, but yeah, not too bad. A couple little kinks here and there, but those are just power dents, give you a little bit more torque off the bottom end. Doing a little heat management for the high pipe. There's 2 wire harnesses right here. That's just the Velcro stuff that you could buy at the auto parts store. And there was one connector that I wasn't able to wrap. It's kind of tucked up here, so I just mounted a piece of aluminum where the rear brake reservoir goes, since that's getting relocated, and I just pop riveted the adhesive sticky stuff on because the glue didn't seem all that strong. Working on mocking up a heat shield for the side cover. Right now I just have a cardboard template There are 10mm spacers behind it from the mounting point to bring that out a little bit, as the high pipe does stick out the tiniest little bit. Ultimately, I'm hoping to make this piece of aluminum I cut out fit behind this side cover. That way I could have that nice factory look. Of course, I'm gonna have to trim a lot of this material off the stock side cover as well to make it fit around that pipe. Have the template traced out onto the aluminum. I'm also planning on putting a bend in that just to protect the heat shield a little bit more at the top, as well as my thigh. First bend actually went surprisingly easy. Stuff isn't too hard to bend in here. The side cover heat shield is now completed. Got the thermal tape heat shield stuff on the backside. Got that nice bend on the top. Now that's all that's left, is to trim quite a bit off of this side cover. That way it can clear the exhaust and fit back on and look factory. First test fit of the side cover after doing some trimming. I do have to take a little bit more off the back. The guess was kind of close, but it's a little too close and it'll probably melt, so I'll just trim a little bit more off of that. But the front part is pretty good. There's a nice gap the whole way around that, so just need to clean the back up and should be good to put it back together. And that's pretty much a wrap on the exhaust project. Have the template for the skid plate all mocked up. Just another piece of cardboard. Practice getting the bends in, and I just used the 4 mounting holes at the bottom of the motor. Transfer this over onto a piece of 1/8 inch aluminum. The 4 mounting holes on the bottom of the motor are actually offset a little bit. So I used the seam line that go between the 2 case halves, kind of to set my measurements on where I want the skid plate to go. With that, I traced the holes out, made a little template where the mounting bolts go. And then when I made my template, had everything centered where I wanted it to go, I just transferred the center line over, measured, marked where the back of the holes would go, and essentially just drop that on there and trace the holes. Also traced this onto a sheet of aluminum that I am going to cut this out of. This is 1/8 aluminum. It's not the thickest stuff in the world, but I'm also concerned with the capabilities I have in my garage. I wouldn't be able to bend anything thicker. Got the aluminum rough cut out. Now it's time to drill holes and try to bend it. Gonna try the first bend with the 1/8 inch aluminum. Holy cow, that's hard. Clamp gave. Gonna try the bending thing again. So I ended up buying 6061 aluminum off of Amazon to make the skid plate out of, and did a little bit of research and found out that 6061 doesn't like to bend. So I did the annealing process. That's where you just draw Sharpie lines on the aluminum and then hit it with a torch until that Sharpie line disappears. And that should soften the aluminum enough, and hopefully this thing will bend now. Holy cow, it actually worked. That is so much easier to bend now. That is incredible. So it turns out the annealing process works. Got a nice bend in there, and just got 3 more to do now. So much nicer. Nice. Last bend. Perfect. From cardboard template to final product. Pretty excited with how this turned out. It was a fun learning experience playing with aluminum. This cost me probably less than $40 in material. They're just small little 8x12 sheets that I picked up on Amazon. And then I also have this 3/8 inch UHMW that I'm planning on making a base plate with. So the plastic will be against the motor, Doing some test fitting, just making sure everything bolts up. It fits pretty nice. Skid plate curves up, kind of protects the side of the case there a little bit. I am thinking I'm going to cut little triangle gussets here and then just take it over to a buddy that knows how to weld aluminum and has the ability, and hopefully strengthen it up a little bit. Here's the final result of the off-road Grom. I already ran 90 miles of off-road with this thing during the 24 Hours of Appalachia event. Unfortunately, I didn't finish, but the bike performed a lot better than I did. One of the things I forgot to show was the installation of the new rear brake reservoir. This is just a length of hose. I believe it's from TST Industries. Comes with the clamps and a little cap, and this will just replace your reservoir. The fluid level looks a little low in there. That's because I ended up losing my rear brake pads during the event. I also put in a Racing Bros rear shock. It's a little bit stiffer to hold my 225-pound frame. This is the non-piggyback version. It does have a rebound adjust on it, which worked great for the rough roads and single track. I also have Race Tech fork springs in the front to help hold my weight as well. Those foot pegs are actually from my Pan America. They're the stock takeoffs. I just had to do a little bit of filing and they fit perfectly. I had a little bit more grip for the mud. And the tires are the Shinko Mobbers. These are heavy tires. I already run one tooth down on the front sprocket. And with how many hills there were and the amount of rocks, I kind of wish I would have went up 2 or 3 teeth on that rear sprocket as well to give me a little bit more low end grunt.
Rally! Go, Grom! Come on, that's 2 to throttle lock. That's 2 to throttle lock. Turn! Oh. Blast and whoops. Slid. Good thing you're little.